100 years ago, the first International Women's Day rallies drew over 1 million people campaigning for women's rights. A week later, a fire caused by lax safety precautions broke out in the New York Triangle Shirtwaist Factory, sending over 140 garment workers to their death. Most of the victims were women, and the fire focused subsequent International Women's Days on their working conditions. Survivor Pauline Pepe remembers watching the blaze take over.
That was a terrible thing. And when we got down, we saw the 3 flights burning. The people, all bodies, it was terrible. I'll never forget that time, never.
Standing on the pavement the day of the fire with hundreds of other witnesses was the young Frances Perkins, later the first woman to serve in the United States Cabinet as Secretary of Labor under Franklin Roosevelt. The hazardous conditions that caused the accident inspired her to push through major reforms that became a model for progressive labor legislation around the world.
Having Frances Perkins in 1941 at the International Labour Conference was such a breakthrough, almost like Eleanor Roosevelt when they were drafting a couple of years later the Human Rights Declaration. A woman of that stature speaking with courage, conviction and confidence set the stage, as it were, for the next decades of women.
Today, women still make up the majority of garment workers worldwide. In Cambodia, for example, they make up 90% of the garment industry. Here, in partnership with government, employers, international buyers, and trade unions, the ILO's Better Factories Cambodia program is monitoring factories and helping them to improve working conditions. Special programs address issues of maternity protection, discrimination at work, and build capacity of women trade unionists. But Cambodian garment workers recently faced a disaster of a different kind, the global economic crisis, which hit their export-based industry hard.
More than 60,000 workers lost their jobs. Even those who were able to stay in their jobs saw their incomes fall. And because most of these workers had no savings, they had nothing to fall back on. Now the sector is recovering, so we've seen employment levels come up, but all of this does point to the need for enhanced social protection.
In 2010, the global unemployment rate was higher for women than for men, and more are trapped in vulnerable employment, work characterized by low pay, long hours, and informal working arrangements. Women also fall behind men in access to training and education, especially in the developing world.
If women are starting from a sadly deteriorating position anyway, it's so important we have a chance with the recovery measures to move ahead on gender equality, and we shouldn't miss that.
100 years ago, women made a stand for their rights at work and a role in the future of their countries. 100 years later, they are helping to shape global economic recovery where there are no one-size-fits-all solutions.